Hi, everybody. Welcome back from spring break and welcome to week 11 of our English 3010 online course. So, I've got a couple of announcements to run through with you guys. This week is kind of a transition week for us because you guys finished your Project 3A before spring break. This week, not only are we going to be working on Project 3B, but I'm hoping that you will go ahead and read through the assignment for Project 4 this week. Even though we don't have to really technically do any official work on Project 4, Project 3 and Project 4, as you'll see, are woven tightly together. So part of what you want to do is think ahead to the paper that you're going to write in Project 4. One of the ways that you can think ahead is to do Project 3B. Well, I'm asking you in this project to talk about and summarize your literature review in a multimodal presentation. That's just a fancy way to say it's not an official paper. It's going to use visuals and audio to summarize and sort of take your audience through the thread of your literature review. This will help you springboard pretty easily into Project 4, but we'll talk more about that in a second. First of all, I wanted to say I hope everybody had a restful, productive, or at least not crappy spring break. I'm glad you're back, and I think that this week is going to be important. This video this week is going to be important because I've done a little bit of rearranging to the assignment. So I want to show you what Project 3B looks like, the things that I'd like you to work on this week. And I have a couple of announcements that I'll save for the end of the video, kind of aiming us toward the end of the semester. But first, let's look at the assignment for Project 3B and look at how it's going to fit into our week this week. Okay, so here we are in Project 3A under the weekly tasks and assignments folder, in case you forgot. And if we scroll down past Project 3A assignment, past week 7, 8, 9 activities, you already turned in your final draft of your lit review. Yay! We had spring break, and now this is our last week working on Project 3. And when you open the week 11 activities folder, the first thing you'll notice is that I've gone ahead and put the link to upload your final Project 3B inside this folder, because that way now all the work that we're doing this week, all the links to upload it are right inside this folder. So that's something to take note of. Another thing to take note of as we look at this week's activities is that if you read ahead, you'll notice that I've changed the order of operations for this week. If you didn't read ahead, don't worry about it. I'll walk you through this week's activities. So first, you want to go ahead and watch the week 11 video, which you're already doing, so that's fantastic. Now, the first thing that I'd like you to do is to develop your slides or your visual. So one of the things to take note of if you look at the Project 3B assignment sheet is that you can use any type of digital visual aid that you prefer. You can do a Prezi, you can do a PowerPoint, you can do Google Slides, or anything, something that I don't know about yet. Those are just the three main ones that I do know about. But you want to create your slides, and that's going to be your rough draft. So by this Wednesday, you want to aim to have your slides written. Now, you don't have to overlay the audio just yet. You just want to upload your slides so that you can get some feedback on them from your peers. Now, this week, guys, when you're doing peer review, you're not really looking that much at content because you've already looked at each other's literature reviews. You've seen a lot of the content in each other's papers. What I'd like you guys to be looking at when you do peer review this week is visuals. What's the color scheme like? How does the font look, and is it readable? Is there too much text on a slide or not enough? Are there any other visuals? How are they working in terms of layout? What's the overall effectiveness of the visual presentation? So those are some things to be thinking about, and hopefully it'll make peer review a little more fun this week. So once again, you want to aim to have your comments written down for your classmates' visual aids for their presentations by Friday. Also, by Friday, take a gander at the Project 4 assignment description. Maybe glance over some of the student samples in the resources folder. And please read through Chapter 3 from the Wadsworth Guide, Writing a Research Proposal. The genre of writing that we're going to be creating in Project 4 is a research proposal. So Chapter 3 in your Wadsworth Guide is going to be really salient to you for this project coming up. And then by Sunday, you want to have layered over your audio with your visual slides and posted that. You can either link to it through YouTube, like the student sample in the resources folder. You can do the voice recording function within PowerPoint. I think there's a voice recording function within Google Slides as well. Either way, I just need to be able to hear your voice and see your visuals. So that needs to be uploaded by midnight on Sunday. Then please also complete Reflection Journal number 7. You can see the links to both of these down here at the bottom. If you click into the Project 3B folder, it'll open up and it'll give you more detailed directions for this multimodal presentation, which we'll look at here in a second. Okay, so one of the main points of this multimodal presentation is to be able to put your literature review more into your own words by summarizing it and verbalizing it. So you definitely need a visual organizer, PowerPoint, Prezi, or something I haven't thought of. And you want to put together a 5-minute Ignite style presentation. So you guys may remember when I asked you to take a gander at this video by Scott Birkin, Why and How to Give an Ignite Talk. You don't have to do it exactly timed out in the particular way that he is doing it, but it just needs to be in that style. So really, you need 2 main things in your Project 3B. You need to be able to articulate the main arguments being made in the conversation of your lit review. What are the main points? And where to go from here? Where does this research need to be deepened? What is the gap that you see in the conversation? And the minimum length here, 5 minutes. You want to try to have 20 slides. Try to aim for 15 seconds per slide. If you use any images, they need to have citations, and you definitely need to have your sources cited at the end of your presentation. And then that's the visual part. In terms of the audio recording, you need to be able to talk through all of the main points that are being made, synthesize the research as you see it. And at the end, when you talk about where this research needs to be deepened, what's the gap, that is basically where you're going to introduce the kernel of your research proposal. If the research needs to be deepened, how does it need to be deepened? And you get to be the one to propose how to deepen that research. You get to be the one to propose next steps. So that's going to be your job in Project 4, and that's how it really connects here to Project 3B. Now you can take a gander here at the grading rubric. There's 5 main categories. So you want to be able to hit all 5 of these categories to get your full points. And then You can upload your file if you're going to do an audio-visual file or a link to something like YouTube or Vimeo here, just per usual. Okay, so that was a basic run-through of the assignment and this week's activities. Couple of things to take note of in terms of announcements or housekeeping. Thing number one, there is a student sample of Project 3B in the resources folder. Now, something to keep in mind is that I picked this example. I didn't have very many past examples to work with. They didn't all get saved in a place I could access. So I picked this one, first of all, because it shows you a little bit of how it can be done. This student uploaded slides and recorded their voice and then linked it through a YouTube, through the YouTube platform to turn it in. So that was successful. The slides overall are pretty visually okay. There's things that could be tweaked about them. For instance, there's quite a lot of text on the example slides. That might be something to think about trimming down in your own slides. Another thing that's something that I don't love about the example Ignite presentation, but I'll tell it to you so then you can avoid doing it. The unfortunate thing is that the student basically just reads their slides to us. It's not terrible because they have a lovely reading voice and it's accurate information to the slides, but it makes for a rather boring presentation. We all know this to be true. Who really needs to pay attention to something when you feel like I could read these slides, I have access to them? Why are you reading them out loud to me? So when you're creating your slides for this Ignite talk, less words on the slides, more words coming from you. Maybe you want to write yourself a little script, maybe, and then have the slides just show the bullet points. Just show maybe images that are relevant. If there are any statistical pieces of data, anything that's illustrative that would really show. And then you, as the audio part, tell. So think about that as you're working on Project 3B. Please consider that the student sample is not perfect by any means, but it is just giving you an example of how it could be done and pros and cons in terms of the visuals and the audio presentation. Email me if you have any questions about that or if that seemed confusing. So then other announcement, exciting times. We are 3 weeks away. Today is the 3 weeks until the writing showcase. Jazz hands. So this is so exciting. I know that you guys probably were like, what is this lady talking about when I posted the video last week, but we're going to keep talking about it. And it's going to be super exciting, super fun. You saw the announcement that Rayanne posted about her experience at past showcases. I'm jazzed. I'm excited. We're going to get some discussion groups going on our Blackboard site to think about what we might want our display to look like for each of the sections that I'm teaching. So get your brainstorming caps on for that and be on the lookout for some discussion forum questions from me. Another announcement real quick is that I will be posting your second reflection about being a part of the composition learning community. So that will be posted to an announcement today or tomorrow. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. You guys were amazing at turning in the first reflections, so keep it coming. Otherwise, I hope you guys are having a great week. If anybody has any questions at all about Project 3B, please feel free to email me, set up a Skype meeting. Oh, this is an important announcement. I will not be in my office for office hours on Tuesday. There's a lunch at the Office of Teaching and Learning that I'm going to, And I'm also doing a classroom observation for one of the graduate instructors. So I will not be in the office on Tuesday. But I will be in the office on Thursday if anyone wants to stop by and chat about Project 3B. Or if you have any questions at all, just feel free to email me. Hope you guys are having a great week. Hope you are feeling rested or at least caffeinated. All right. Have a good week, everybody.